guys.
Hey guys.
Welcome back to
Shut the Smut Up. Ooh, I love that.
Thanks.
A little like, ooh.
Yeah, feels sassy.
What are we talking about today?
We are talking about Powerful and Reckless today by Lauren Roberts.
Yes.
Okay, tell me what you thought. Start with Powerful.
I loved it.
Okay.
Loved it. 5 out of 5 star.
Okay, so you physically read this, correct?
Yep.
I listened to the audio. I'm going to be 100% honest. I did not love this audio. I feel like I might have loved the book more had I read it. I wasn't super impressed with the audio. I was in my car and I don't know, I just wasn't vibing with it.
I feel like it was such an easy, I vibed with it. It was so
Yeah.
easy to get into. And the one regret that I have is that I did not tandem read it
I know.
with fucking Powerless.
We should have listened to everybody, but I was the one that was like, listen to the audios, because I had somebody that was like hyping up the first book. But I am so glad that I did listen to the audios, especially like with the first and second book. I wanted to love this.
What did you rate it?
I rated this a 3. I think I rated the audio a 3, but I rated the book itself a 3.5.
Damn, she rated it way low compared to me.
I feel like we're kind of on this thing lately where we're not vibing on the same books, which doesn't usually happen because usually we're always on the same page. So it's good to get different points of view.
Correct.
Okay, what was one of your favorite things about this book?
I just loved that Makoto.
Mac was good.
He's sexy. I loved the plot twist of it, of him having fucking the same power as Kai.
Yeah, that was the same. I feel this. Okay, this is where we're back on the same page. I felt the same way, but I will tell you, I didn't understand why this got inserted where it did. Obviously with the Dina stuff, it needed to be. But if you were going to introduce Mac, why was he not in Reckless? So I did read some stuff that says he's going to be in the third book.
But the third book is also the final, so we'll get to that, the final book. But let's finish with Powerful, right? So before we get into Reckless.
Okay. Sorry, I jumped ahead. You know me.
Did. But yeah, so I really did find it really interesting that there's somebody else out there like Kai, which would make sense.
But why? Because he's supposed to be so unique, and it's such a mystery. Why was Mac? Why does he have the powers that he has? Why does Kai have the powers that he has?
You would think that there would be more of them like that, though, because with Adina, she's a phaser, right?
Right.
There's other phasers out there. There's other flames.
There's different.
So you would think that there's other people out there, but obviously Kai's dad has probably killed them all.
Right.
So, being Makoto being the one and only other person out there that has that power, it just makes it so much more unique that he's been able to stay alive and underneath the radar.
I kind of wanted him to use it a little more.
I
wanted him to be using that power more, but it was such a plot twist that you didn't know till the end. So I understood that, but it's like when with Adina when he was like, no, I need you to get into the castle, and she's like, why? I'm leaving.
Yeah, what do you fucking mean?
Yeah, so that was interesting. Did you listen to any of the audio?
Not for Powerful at all.
I feel like I wanted to love it, and I feel like because you loved it so much, I'm like, what if I read it?
Well, in the book, they make him seem like this is such a grumpy to Sunshine book,
for
right?
Sure.
They vibe with each other. They they mix so well because you have Adina who's just this sweet and just innocent person.
Right.
And you get Makoto who is this gruff fucking blacksmith.
Right? I'm telling you, if I would have read it, I think I would have loved Mac more. This is terrible. I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say why I struggled with it. It wasn't necessarily Adina's voice. I struggled with Makoto's. I don't know. I just didn't love
you gotta think
the narration of it. But it's I couldn't do that, so who am I to... You know what I mean? Then I feel guilty.
Narrators put a voice to a character, right?
Yeah, but I don't think I would have viewed that in my head.
Sometimes a character that's not who you think is gonna.
Right.
I mean, even with movies and TV shows, right?
Mhm.
You're like, wait, that's not who I pictured in the book. Who they put in the movie.
Right.
So it makes sense that you're feeling that way with the audio. But yeah, in the book, it's just like it's such grumpy and sunshine, and the way that he treats her is just like she is like this queen, and he just like it's the sweetest
Yeah.
thing.
I still liked it.
I loved this.
I just didn't love it.
I felt like it was like such. I'm glad I read it after Powerless also, because it was like such a good like cleanse in a sense, right, to the story. But then I wish I would have read it in like tandem read
in
it.
context.
Yeah, because you see where they fit.
But then I also am sitting here and I'm like, would it have bugged me to like stop that storyline? You know what I mean?
Where you listen to the audios, I think it really would have bugged you. But I think reading it is something different.
Yeah.
Because you've already dealt with Adina in Powerless, right? So going into her own story.
But I will say in Powerless, I was like, where's Adina? I'm confused.
And I guess, I mean, that makes sense.
Because they were such a big part of each other's lives. But
she has her own story.
Right.
So the ending to Powerful was just so much heartbreaking because you already got it from Payton's point of view, right?
Like getting it from like
Makoto, from seeing it in the crowd and him trying to get over the barrier and everything, but then also getting it from Adina's point of view.
I was like, just okay, let's just wreck us.
Yeah, being in Payton's arm, it was just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And like her just looking up into the sky and counting the stars, and like Mac knowing that that's what she was doing.
And it's like, oh yeah, God. I was driving. I was kind of in like a canyon. And I remember just like thinking it, and I was just like, oh, he's just like counting. And I was like, oh my God, this is so sad.
Like, beautiful writing.
Yeah.
I really, really loved Powerful. Hands down. One of the best novellas I've ever read.
That's awesome.
So.
Leading into the point of views and Payton's, and that was just kind of a traumatic scene. Leading into Reckless, it sticks with her, with Payton. It sticks with her in the sense that she's having a hard time now seeing blood, things that didn't necessarily bug her before. Like, she's just like, it's like this.
She feels dirty.
Yeah, like her coming to grips with like what was happening, because she obviously kind of feels like it's her fault, and then her like trying to get away. Right? And the ending of Powerless into this next, like, I had a hard time picking. I'm going to jump back.
That's fine.
I was like, I don't want to read the novella. When I finished the first book, I wanted to go into the second book. I almost skipped it.
And I see exactly
I almost did.
No, I agree, especially with the way that Powerless ended. You're like, okay, now it's time to jump right into Reckless, right? But then you're like, well, I need to read Powerful, which I understand that's where you need to tandem read it. But giving that break, I enjoyed it, because then it gave me something to look forward to, because I fucking loved Reckless just as much. And I know some people did not.
Yeah.
Some people were so disappointed with it, and I feel like it was so much better than the first book.
I feel like I'm struggling because I'm leaning between a 4 and a 4.5. I think I gave the first book, I think I gave Powerless a 4.5, if I remember right. But I was like, I was busy when I was listening to the audio of this, and so I found my mind wandering. But I think it but it wasn't just tell me if this is something that like I don't know why my mind was wandering, if it was just because I was busy or if it was a little repetitive for me. I like wanted to love it so much.
It was repetitive.
Okay, maybe that's why I found myself like, especially where it was the first time listening to this story, because there was a lot of things I really loved about this book, but I just wanted like a little bit more. There was like times where she's kind of in a different like
in a different city. Is
it a kingdom?
It's a kingdom city, town,
whatever. That like
it's Door is what it's called.
Yeah, and then I like wanted a little bit more interaction with other people, because I felt like you were only getting, but then I also loved this at the same time. So it was like a love-hate relationship between like her and Kai. There's so much interaction, which you wanted in the first book so much.
90% of the book is only her and Kai, and maybe the 10% other is with, I mean, you got Lenny in there, and then you get like some of like the pit fights and like some of the I mean, you get Kit's point of view. I mean, But other than that, 90% of the book is Peyton and Kai together.
Right. Okay, I'm going to be honest. Also, side note, I feel like I'm not meaning to be negative because I enjoyed these, but I'm like, I don't know why I had a few little issues. I didn't love Kit's point of view in this. I liked Kit in the first book, and for some reason, Kit's point of view in this book, I just wasn't connecting with. Like, I just was like, oh,
okay. You know first off, 5 out of 5 star for me.
Okay, great.
I didn't put that in there. So 5 out of 5 star. Second off, I liked that we got Kit's point of view. I wish we would have got more.
Yeah.
She did do it a little twist with Kit because it makes him seem like he is going mad.
Yes.
Like he is going a mad king. But I also do see that he's grieving, right? Because he has only known to please his father. He doesn't know anything else.
I think as somebody having, and you have a sister, I have 3 sisters, I think that I've learned in books I struggle when people grieve. I think it's my own personal problem that I don't like when the grieving process is drug out because I'm not that person. That sounds a terrible thing, but I think I'm learning the more I'm reading about some of these things that it's just like, I just want to be like, how can you look at the things that were done to your brother and still grieve
that person?
Yeah. Right. But then I'm also sitting here and I love flawed characters. So it's like this delicate balance, and this is just a personal opinion, but I still loved it.
No, and I agree with you on that. And 100% agree.
And I really loved it next to this. I know that sounds terrible, but I really did. I was just like, yes, this is what, like, and you start this book out, right? And we talked about this, and you were like, you just instantly were like, this is so good.
Yeah. So right off the bat in this book, one of my favorite scenes is when Peyton is in the chimney.
Stop. Because the first book, she starts in a chimney, and the second book, she's in a chimney again, but in her house.
Yeah.
Her home.
And Kai burns down the fucking house with her in it, and he doesn't know that she's in it.
He's like talking and she's listening.
She is a fucking cockroach. She is a fucking cockroach because
she survives everything. Die.
She's a cockroach. Because a cockroach would be in a fucking chimney and survive a fire. Tell me that's not it. No judgment to Peyton. But she's a fucking cockroach because literally this bitch is in a fucking chimney. Chimney falls down and then bitch is running across
like the rooftops. Freaking and then like Kai freaking is.
He's like, of course she's in there. Yeah, you know what I mean. But
they were like there's silver haired like something hopping around, and
so the book really starts off with a real good bang because like I don't know.
It's just great. It draws you in like immediately.
Yeah. I do wish we would have had more of the world building in Door.
Yes.
Because she does like take on this persona of shadow.
Yes.
Right? And she's in a pit fight. So you wish we would have gotten more of that instead of Kai automatically just showing up.
And like I wanted like an interaction between like she's this assassin fighting people, but like she's got like she's covered like her.
She's a man.
She's hiding her identity. People think that she's a man. I like wanted more detail of her like crawling out of the pits and like interactions with different people and like what she was doing for like lodgings and you know what I mean. Like I just wanted a little bit more world building, but I'm learning that like I need I like a character driven plot, but I still need some plot. Like, I still need some extra details and world stuff, and because it just elevates
a book, 100%.
But I also could understand because you get too much world building and people struggle. You know what I mean? So,
I would say that this book is really fast paced compared to the first book.
She's like folding herself in half over here. Yeah, it is. It goes like quick. Like I think another reason you really probably loved this is because where you struggle with the first half of. Well, more than the first half of
60% of the first
Powerless book. That's I could see why you would love this. I think if I wasn't as busy and if I was actually reading it, I think I would have been like eating it up more. But I just like I felt like I was so busy at the time, and we had pushed this off so much because we were both just like so busy that it was just it was just one of those things. Hi, Nana. One of those things that if we would have got to it sooner, I think I would have enjoyed it, but it had so much hype that I was nervous. Look at all these dogs. Oh, anyways, like overall, I did enjoy this book. and I loved the interactions. And there's times like they're literally stabbing each other.
Mhm.
Like when she's like in the first part of the book when she's running across the roof, like he shoots her with an arrow or throws a knife.
He throws
a knife in her thigh.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm sorry, but like that's my favorite kind of like I love like the love hate like.
Yep, and then he crawls up onto the roof, and she's got a knife at his throat. She's like, yeah, there's always a knife at Kai's throat.
And I like live for that. Like those are some of the tropes that are my favorite. Is like, you know.
Yeah, dagger.
But yeah, but like, but then it was like there was so many like little detail things that I think she's setting up for bigger stuff, or like for the third book that I'm like I will be continuing with this story.
Oh,
like
100%.
with these books, and I think that's one of the biggest things is will you continue or are you like I will still. I want to know what happened.
100%.
This isn't like a maybe. This is when it comes out. I'll read it.
Yeah, 100%.
But I think where I've been listening, I think I'll continue with the audio because I've kind of been on an audiobook journey.
That's fine.
Yeah. But I also think it'll be great to get different opinions. But maybe I'll do an immersive. Maybe if I'm not doing anything, I'll try to do an immersive. And maybe
read it while you listen to it. The one thing is there too much banter in this book? Because
we're on that scale where kind of I think I never thought we would say this.
The banter is great.
Fantastic.
Step back a little. Is that all there is for them to talk about? Is banter in this book?
Mm-hmm.
I did
But then I sit here and I'm like, me and my husband give each other shit 24/7.
Yeah.
24/7.
I did love that they would go to each other and they would be like, let's pretend.
Oh. Every time I was like,
give us these moments.
Because there was nothing in Powerless. We're like, not even a kiss.
No.
And so I was like, like it was like very young YA, and you obviously like get a little bit more in this. I found myself wishing this was an adult book series.
Yeah.
I did. I wanted it.
Yeah, I would still say that Reckless is still YA.
Yes, 100%, because it's not anything like it literally they just kiss a couple times. Like
Yep. So they kissed 3 times to be exact. I finished this book yesterday.
It's been a minute. I finished it a little before.
She says thank you 7 times also.
Yeah, she finally has manners. Who would have thought?
And then
that would bring it out of me too.
Another beautiful scene was when they're in the poppy field right before
towards the end of the book.
And she's like, dance with me. And he's like, always. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she's
okay,
and they're just
ready?
Like pretend and they're just like, I don't want to pretend anymore.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
I love the pretend. I don't love the dancing stuff. That's weird of me.
I love it.
I know. I do.
Because it's like something between them, right?
Yes. I wanted them to have like something new. I don't know.
But I don't know. And then like I don't it's romantic between them and it's for them.
But then I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, it is cute. I did like it when I listened to it.
So
but it's like sometimes listening to something and talking about it seems more cringy than reading something. Do you feel that way?
Reading
is like anything can go for the most part.
Well, you got to think when you're listening to something, you're putting it to a voice, right?
Yes.
You're putting something to a real life voice.
Yes.
When reading something, it's fantasy in your head.
Yeah, like it plays out like a movie, like whatever.
But you're having somebody read it to you.
I know.
So it's
like it elevated the experience for me, but it makes me wonder if, as a whole, I would have liked things more had I read it. I don't know.
I did like the audio of, from what I know of, from Powerless, right?
I think it's Cicely Bednar-Brown Schmidt, and then Chase Brown. I'm just combining them.
That's fine.
They did such a good job, and their voices, the way they bounce off each other. I didn't mind that, like, it was like Kai's point of view, he would read the whole chapter. So he would read Peyton's voice and his voice, and then Peyton would do her voice and his voice. It makes me wonder if it would have elevated it even more had they went back
where they would have had them both together.
But I've never listened to anything like that, so that would be a new experience for me.
I don't know, because from the cinematics that I've heard, I don't like them.
Okay.
They're weird.
Maybe I wouldn't either.
But that's my opinion. For me, I only prefer a female narrator. Yeah. And that's just my opinion, right? I've only ever really listened to it. I mean, I guess I've listened to the Red the Red Rising series, and that's a male narrator, and I really liked him. But
like Harry Potter is like
in the fantasy worlds, right? Like I've only ever listened to a female. So Powerless was the first time that I really ever had like a male narrator there.
I feel like I could just listen to him say anything. He could be saying bullshit stuff, and I'd be like, okay.
Yeah. So I do wish I would have listened to the audio for this, but I'm glad I didn't, because the reading of it I was easy. I just felt like it just flows so much easier.
We're gonna get spoiler in this because we did enjoy it, and I want to actually talk about it because I want to talk about a few little theories.
I feel like we've already gotten spoilers.
Yeah, it's like whatever. I mean, sometimes it's like all or nothing with us.
I was like, we've already.
We don't have an in between. We either don't talk about it at all, or we just straight up or like whatever, fuck it. So, let's talk about how they go back to the palace within the last little bit of the book, and he's gonna let her run. Yeah. He's gonna let her get away. He's like, loves her, like whatever.
He's like, go, and he's just like,
and they end up like, the guards end up seeing them, and so they have this little like, we're gonna pretend, right? And he's like, this is pretend. So they go back to the pretend, and that they hate each other. So they're just like acting annoyed, whatever. They go back to the palace. I feel like I should have seen this coming because I kept being like, is this what I think it is? And I'm like, no, what? Like when they talk about the box in Kit's pocket.
I thought it was going to be for the fucking other bitch. The bitch that killed Adina.
Oh, right.
100%.
Did you? I didn't think that at all because they don't like her. If in the first book, don't you remember they get annoyed with her?
I know, but I instantly thought that's who Callum was telling him, like, because you need a queen to be able to help you rule a kingdom. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that's exactly who he was pointing at. You know what I mean?
See, and I didn't even think that
little, like,
okay, this is the theory.
A snake? Like, what is he?
So then all of a sudden it goes to like his advisor, right? And like at first I didn't put two and two together, but Callum's also advising Kit, but he's part of the resistance.
Is he? Is it the same Callum?
It has to be.
Do we know that for sure?
I'm pretty sure it is. I'm like actually like.
Because she's used multiple fucking times throughout the book.
That's also too, because it's like you learn in like Reckless, like when the prologue, that it's like, oh, he says like Ava, right? And so I'm sitting here and I'm like, that's odd. But also, okay, wait, side note. What happened? Where's Callum's daughter? She disappeared. Where's Callum's daughter?
So there's plot holes.
Yeah, right? There's like a few little plot holes that it's like, is this like on purpose or is this just like been brushed over? But also, okay, right? So there's at the end of the book, and you want to know what like got me is like Kit all of a sudden like decides that he's like brings out this ring, and he's like says something along the lines that like Peyton's gonna be his wife.
Yeah, Peyton Gray.
And then it like you end the book with Kai's point of view, and Kai's like blah blah blah, like steps back.
Yeah, he's stepping back. He's like walking away.
And he's like, I guess the beast doesn't get the beauty. And I was like, shut the. She does not put them together. I'm gonna be the whole book community will be fucking pissed. They have to be together. If you do not put Kai and Peyton together, people will rage. They will rage.
They'll be together. They have to.
They have to. The way things are and like all this shit, right? But then I'm sitting here and I'm like, what if Kit marries her, or what if the next book's like her being at the palace or whatever, but under guard, but like gonna marry him, and they just have to deal with it.
Maybe she kills Kit.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But we need to know what's happening with Callum, because we were like, but then okay, here's the theory, right? So we find out that Peyton's dad isn't actually her dad through journals, and she's with Kai on the road to take her back when she learns this.
Yep.
And Callum knew who her dad is, and there's this whole thing about how it says like a friend turned her dad in, a friend, and there's this whole thing where Callum keeps saying her dad was a friend, like there's like a commonality in like the wording. And so I've like seen some things, and then the more you think about it, you're like, okay. So it makes you wonder if Callum's the one, if he was an advisor, because it says he's been an advisor for years. But it's like, you don't put two and two together. She was good about covering that up. So is Callum the one that turned her dad in? And does he know Peyton's true heritage? Because like, what if she's like, and then also Lenny, right, from the Resistance, Lenny keeps calling her princess. Is that foreshadowing or is that just a nickname? That's what I want to know. Freaking Lexi.
I mean, that's very good.
I want to know. Like,
I mean, it makes sense.
It does. I'm like, Peyton is so mysterious, and I need to know. I need to know her heritage, and I'm loving lost heritage stuff. Like, please be a long lost princess. Please be that. Like, she's been living in. I love that trope.
It would make sense because if you think about it, people that have the elites, right, are the people that have colored hair.
Yeah, they have these, like, the play has given them, like, these features.
She has the silver hair,
right? Where
did
it come from? But she's powerless? Is she?
In book 2, she does swipe. With the bandits, she doesn't notice one, but she notices the very last one that's shooting at Kai, but she steps right in front super quickly and knocks an arrow straight out of the air. Like,
is that like her training herself, like where her dad had trained her? Like, is that like just training kicking in, or is it something else?
But it also described how her Kai and the bandit were like,
what the hell?
The fuck did I just do? You know what I mean? I just did that. So, the foreshadowing I do see. I don't know, the way that it's made it seem, and even in book 1, like when Adina died, it made me seem like she was going to have a power.
Yeah, I agree. Like something was going to happen.
Correct. So, maybe she is. I mean, and I do see where you're saying that Lenny is always calling her princess. You know what I mean? There is a mysterious around Callum, because is Callum the same Callum from the Resistance? Is Callum, you know what I mean? So,
but also, like, we learned something big in the plot as well, that with Lenny and the Resistance, right? Lenny's mom has taken these, they call them mundanes, and they have, like, they're not ordinary, but they're not elites. They have small powers.
They're mutts.
Yeah, they're mutts. That's what cockroach mutts. We're great with the terminology today.
They're halflings, basically.
Yeah, they can do little things. They don't have full control. They
correct.
can do little, like, and so you sit here and it's like, she said that for a reason. She brought that into the storyline for a reason, and I feel like I need to know, when does the next book come out?
I believe in February of next year.
Okay, that's not that long. We can wait for that. That's great.
Possibly May.
Oh, that's farther away.
Sometime next year.
Okay, great. Well, that's fine. Maybe we'll reread them. They're not that big. They're really not that big.
Like, we have fucking time to reread.
Maybe we will. Maybe we won't.
We're not rereading.
Okay, did you have anything else to add? I feel like I talked about what I wanted to talk. I don't know why I kind of got negative. I didn't mean to be. It just happened.
It's okay.
But I had a lot of things that I loved about it.
That's
but
fine.
I needed a little more, but I still loved it. I don't know.
I feel like I've been negative in book reviews too that you like.
Yeah, but maybe I just don't notice it because it's not me doing it.
So, all I know is I really enjoyed these two compared to book 1. Book 1 was just trash compared to these two.
I don't know if it's just Chase Bednar, or, good God, Chase Brown just, like, sucked me in, and I was like, oh, stop it right now. I loved it so much. But I don't know. But then I was just like, sometimes when I know people, like, have loved something, I'm like, do I need to give this another shot? But I liked it. I really liked it. So I don't know why I'm being weird.
It's okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
It's great books.
They really were. I enjoyed this.
I did too.
I keep saying it's the 4th book instead of the 3rd book because I keep saying the
that
novellas.
Book doesn't count in this series. This is book 2.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see where it goes with this.
I'm excited for another novella. What's going to really piss me off is that she's not going to put Makoto in book 3 and give Makoto a novella.
Yeah, I could see her doing that.
When I feel like Makoto should have a bigger plot line. He's
a significant enough player in this world, I think, having the same powers as Kai, that, side note, when they're in the other world, the other kingdom, I don't know why I said world, I forgot about this. So Kai's powerless in that.
Correct.
That was a twist because other like there's nobody with powers around.
Yeah, that's because they've shipped all the ordinaries off to there.
So I like loved that they were more on equal grounds with that. Like that was an interesting plot twist.
Yeah, he had to be on her level.
It was good. I really liked it.
So.
Okay. Anything else, Dad?
No.
You just loved it.
Yes.
Okay. Well, be sure to like and subscribe. Come join the chaos.
Yes.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye.